Disney, a company well known for making family friendly content suitable for all ages. Over time, we've seen a lot of very inclusive content come from them, ranging from The Owl House to Encanto. They've been heavily praised in the media for their acceptance and acknowledgement of the LGBT community. But are they really as inclusive as they seem? Have they ever been very accepting? Are they starting to cut back on censorship and finally seeing LGBT members as people rather than as means of profit? As a member of the LGBT community, I found myself seeing through the facade Disney was putting up, and it hurt to see so many other members of the community fall into the trap of Disney's inclusive media. So, I decided to take a look into Disney, the way they treat their staff, their media, the community they claim to care so much about. And what I found was nothing but lies, censorship, and hate. In 2012, Disney would work with Alex Hirsch to create a sci-fi animated show named Gravity Falls. The show ran for 2 seasons before ending in 2016. From there, the show would have a comic, 2 books, and even a video game. It was safe to say the show was a big hit, especially with the LGBT community. Now, when the show was first released, the only noticeable LGBT representation was with Sheriff Blubbs and Deputy Durland. Even then, they weren't confirmed to be a couple until the final episode. So for a show that didn't appear to have much LGBT representation, why was it so popular with members of the community? To answer that question, we would have to look to none other than the show's creator, Alex Hirsch. In 2017, Hirsch would do an interview with Vry Kaiser from the Mary Sue. In the interview, Hirsch discussed working on Gravity Falls. One of the things he talked about was Disney's homophobia. He discussed how the Love God episode was meant to have lesbians in it, but Disney felt that it would look bad if they had a gay couple in an episode about love. In the Mary Sue interview, Alex Hirsch said, "When one of our storyboard artists presented the scene to me, she'd made one of the couples 2 lovable old ladies. It was sweet and casual, and I knew instantly that it was going to turn into a huge fight with Disney. So naturally, I left it in." From there, it goes to talk about how Disney refused to outright say the problem was that they were lesbians, but made it very clear. They were to quote Alex Hirsch, "They were terrified of sounding like bigots, but I don't think they were bigots. I think they were cowards. They basically admitted that there was no good reason why I should change it." He also discussed how Disney didn't want to show Blubbs and Durland's relationship to be anything other than comedic. Later in 2022, Hirsch would go to Twitter to post the exact conversations he had with Disney. Now, if all Disney did was tone down the gayness of 2 characters and remove a lesbian scene, that wouldn't warrant an entire video documentary. But there was another controversy. Disney censored an entire relationship, essentially changing major parts of the show to keep from showing a gay couple. Let's talk Bill Ford. In 2017, Alex Hirsch would release Journal 3, a book based on one from the show, of the same name that was written by Ford Pines. The book consisted of details from the show, such as pages on monsters from the show or extra details from episodes. Along with that, there were pages on Bill's cipher. Bill and Ford seemed to have a complicated relationship, to say the least. Going solely off of the 30 minutes of screen time Ford had in the show, Bill and Ford were partners working on a portal between dimensions. Ford considered Bill to be his muse, worshipping him as a higher power, planning on that would help him achieve greatness. However, upon learning that Bill was actually a demon planning on destroying the world, Ford tried to cut ties with him. With Ford not being in the show very long, it made it hard to understand the intricacies of their relationship. However, in Journal 3, we were able to get a bit of Ford's perspective on the relationship. When describing Bill, Ford claims he was to have been seduced by him, and also says, "I am strange, and the strange is attracted to me." It was pretty obvious that they were meant to be closer than quote-unquote business partners. Then the deleted scenes started to come out. The 2 main ones associated with Bill Ford are the scene where Ford spits in Bill's eye and Bill licks it, and the scene where Bill made Ford, who was a statue, make out with a deer. This one didn't make it far in animated stages for obvious reasons. Now, with all of this coming to light, the fandom was starting to realize that maybe Bill and Ford were supposed to be a couple. However, the final piece of the puzzle would come in July of 2024, when the Book of Bill released. The Book of Bill held explicit descriptions of a relationship between Bill and Ford. For context, between the years of 2012 to 2023, there were only 30 pages of fanfic between Bill and Ford on AO3, a website meant for writing fanfiction, and now there are 106 pages, with 76 of those pages being written between July 23rd to November 12th of 2024. Clearly, the Book of Bill had some important information about their relationship if it stirred the fandom up that much, considering the show had been over for over a decade. In the Book of Bill, there is a chapter dedicated to Ford, and mainly the missing Journal 3 pages removed from the original Journal 3 by Ford due to reasons. Those pages consisted of drawings, writing, and Polaroids depicting their entire relationship. It starts out with how they met, how Ford was very lonely when suddenly a muse arose from the sky. Then it discusses their relationship. It also talks about things that Bill Cipher did that in Bill Cipher's mind were considered flirting. It also covers their breakup and how it led to domestic abuse. Overall, it was pretty obvious that Bill and Ford were a couple, and that Disney had actively and continuously censored their relationship. Even now in 2024, Alex Hirsch was not allowed to call Bill and Ford a couple, but was allowed to lay out their entire relationship in a book sold by Disney for money. Because at the end of the day, Disney doesn't care about representation. They don't care about the well-crafted story that showcased the raw effects of abusive relationships. All they care about is making money. And if that means they have to destroy the plot of their show and censor it in a way so it'll be able to be seen worldwide, they'll do it. I think Alex Hirsch puts it best in a tweet saying, Disney privately, cut the gay scene, we might lose precious pennies to Russia and China. Disney publicly, honk honk, we put rainbow bumper stickers on Lightning McQueen today, consume our products, teens. Now you may look at this video and say, well, Gravity Falls is just a piece of media, it doesn't reflect upon the company as a whole. And to that I say, you're not wrong. But their homophobia and mistreatment of the LGBT community goes farther than just censoring Bill Ford. They also donated to anti-LGBT politicians and temporarily refused to comment on the Don't Say Gay bill. In an article posted by the Washington Post, it revealed that the company has been giving nearly $300,000 to backers of the Florida bill in the last 2 years. And the Orlando Sentinel reported that since 2019, Disney has given more than $100,000 to the Friends of Ron DeSantis PAC. They were well aware of the bill that was threatening Florida, yet still funded these politicians. The company only came out against the bill after their employees wrote letters asking for answers and staged a walkout. They also still censor their LGBT characters in international releases. In the article titled Nervous Disney Chief Censors Gay Affection in Box Office Hits, it's revealed that in Disney's Onward, they replaced the word girlfriend to partner in the Russia release to censor, you guessed it, a lesbian couple. Disney really doesn't care about standing with the LGBT community. It doesn't help that they own so many pieces of media and companies. Recently, they've partnered with Hulu. So if they want to make money off a show without assigning their name to it, they can just put it on Hulu. This is what happened with Love Victor, according to Love Victor, the charming gay teen rom-com Disney said wasn't kid-friendly. In the article by the Daily Beast, they write about how Disney took Love Victor off Disney Plus and instead made it available only on Hulu, while other shows with much more serious matters are allowed on Disney Plus. The show about learning to accept yourself was deemed not family-friendly based on programming decisions. But that's just how Disney is. They add a few gay characters to shows, or a lesbian in a movie, knowing that they'll be praised for representation, but when it it's time to release it internationally, they'll censor those characters or move a show to another platform just so they can make money. All that matters to them is making money off of you and your pride. Surprisingly, I was able to find some people praising Disney for having representation in media and discussing the future of Disney. I found this interesting since I've covered past and present, but have yet to touch on the future. In the article, Are We Ready for a Gay Disney Princess? Jessica Contrera writes about how Disney has slowly been adding more LGBT characters to media, along with making their princesses more diverse. They discuss how the first person of color princess was Tiana in the 2009 movie The Princess and the Frog. They also write about how Elsa was implied to be not straight in Frozen, according to a lot of fans. I think the idea of an LGBT princess is nice, but considering how they mistreated their last LGBT princess, I feel that any future LGBT princesses would only have her sexuality be vaguely implied so it could be censored in countries where things like that are not allowed. So what did we learn today? Disney's never really been too fond of gays and still doesn't see them as people. That they see LGBT representation as something that can be censored anytime a piece of media needs to sell overseas. Maybe so. But what are we supposed to do about it? After this video ends, I don't expect you to rush to your room to throw out anything Disney related and boycott the company. Despite how poorly it was treated, I can never give up Gravity Falls and will continue to buy the books they put out, even though it's funding Disney. Instead, the next time you see Disney selling a pair of rainbow Mickey ears during Pride Month, remember that they aren't doing that to show support or to make you feel comfortable. They're doing it because they know the easiest way to your wallet is through your heart. So don't let them in.